Hello viewers and welcome back. Before we get into today's episode, I do have a little bit of a thing to say, and it's a condemnation to the people of Manchester City. Stop taking my players. First you've taken Zivkovic, now you've taken Poyampalo. Where's it gonna end? Yes, what's going on, guys? It's Gendo here, and welcome to episode 48 of If I Had a Hammer. If you're still enjoying the series, please go and hit that like button. But I couldn't be in any more of a pissed off mood as Manchester City have come in and activated the release clause of Joel Poyampalo. I mean, the only reason why he wanted to go anyway was because he was unhappy with the club. He wanted to move to someplace bigger, and reluctantly, I gave in to his demands. I was able to negotiate a little bit of higher price, fees and whatnot. Could rise up to $28.5 million by the time all those are all said and done. But now I'm just left with one main striker in Łukasz Teodorczyk. But thankfully, we're in a transfer window that I was able to recall one of my strikers. In fact, one of my top young prospects in Yanis Delany. If you remember, I brought him in at the very beginning of the season. The now 20-year-old Frenchman, looking fairly solid, and to be quite honest with you, he had the pace and he had the attacking stats like Joel Poyampalo, but he's just 5 years younger. But at this point in time, I don't want to just rely on Łukasz, who looks to be starting into the downturn of his career at 29, or Yanis Delany at 20. I want to try and find somebody that is a proven striker and is still in the prime of their career. And I've pretty much narrowed it down to 3 prospects, and we're going to offer contracts to them as this goes along. Ruy Pedro from Porto, the 22-year-old striker, looking like a very young Łukasz Teodorczyk in speed, in attacking, and he's got the jumping reach, even though he's only 6 foot. So I'm going to offer him at least try and put an offer bid on him. They say they want about 25 million for him, so we're going to go with 25 and see what Porto come back. They say 32, which isn't bad. Maybe if we can go down to 27, we'll see how Porto goes. After league appearances, 2.7 million. After minimum league goals, 10 goals, 2.7 million. Okay, I feel like the goals are going to be an automatic, so we're going to drop this down to, say, 1.5, and then for the league appearances we're going to drop this down as well to 1.5, and we're going to let this go. Apparently 20% sell on profit to Porto if I'm able to sell him. Let's see how this goes. They do agree, which means the total of this is going to be 30 million. Oh boy. Another prospect I was looking at was Mohamed Ansoudane, a 19-year-old from Toulouse, another Frenchman like Yanis Delany, but at the same point in time, while the stats look appetizing, he's still coming across that young factor, that inexperienced factor, that I don't want to just pick up a striker for the sake of picking up a striker because he's young and inexperienced. He may have the stats, but he still has time to develop. I'm pretty sure Toulouse are not going to want to get rid of him. It says he's 6.5 for an offer. I'm going to actually try for 15 million because I'm pretty sure they're going to ask for at least double that, and they're coming back with 61. Yeah, we're going to have to pass. And then the last one on my short list was this guy, Lautaro Rinaldi. He's 27 years old, which means that he does have the veteran criteria that I'm looking for. However, he has only stayed in Argentina and Brazil. He is at Corinthians right now, but taking a look at his stats, he is an out-and-out goal scorer. 37 goals in the league through 56 matches last season. 51 goals in all competitions. He played in 75 matches, but it's Brazil. They play in a shit ton of matches down there. But still, 37 goals in 56 appearances in the league. That is an astounding feat. He is a true goal scorer, and this really is the guy that I'm looking for. Fortunately for us, he also goes for a really cheap bargain. He's probably only going to go for like 15 million. That's exactly what I'm going to offer at first asking, 15 million, and see what they look. Corinthians ask right away, 15 million. That's fine. We got you, bro. All right. So I'm going to be offering them a contract really soon. Ruy Pedro, Lautaro Rinaldi. Which one should I choose? Ruy Pedro is definitely the more greedy of the two people. He wants £5.15 million per year for 4 years. He wants $5.5 million signing. His goal bonus definitely not as high as I would think it would be. So we're going to drop his price down to $4 million, and we're going to drop we're actually going to move his goal bonus up to say $42,500. Give him incentive to score goals. Top goal scorer, we'll leave that as is. We'll see how he likes this. Okay, so he bumped it up to $4.8 million. We're going to drop this down to 4.4, and he should accept this. He does, but like I said, he is supremely expensive compared to Lautaro Rinaldi. Looking at Lautaro's contract, he wants just $4.1 million right off the bat. Signing on fee, $2.6 million. Just look at how small he is compared to Ruy Pedro, which leads me to believe that maybe Ruy is the better option, but if Rinaldi is the goal scorer that I think he will turn out to be, Ronaldo would be the cheaper option. We're still going to move his contract down just a bit. Not from 4.1. We're going to move it down to 3.5 flat. We're going to move the goal bonus up to, once again, $42,500 per goal. Let's see if he likes this. He likes it. Hopefully, Rinaldi is the one who officially approves this signing on, because I'd really love to have him, but Pedro isn't that bad either, so I'm faced with a dilemma. Well, we can't figure out that just yet, because we do have a match versus Spurs coming up first. But silly me, of course, we're in the middle of a transfer window, and I did make a couple of transfers, both out and in. The only one out, aside from Yoel Paulo, John Suter, obviously was not breaking into the first team squad as much as I would have liked and what he would have liked, so I moved him on to QPR for a fee of only £3 million. Definitely a lot more than what we brought him in for, but like I said, didn't really develop to be the star midfielder that I would have liked. But I feel John Suter's role very nicely as I'm bringing in this guy, Lucas Romero, coming in from Boca Juniors for £6.75 million. He's 26 years old, primarily plays in that defensive mid role, could play in that center mid, but I want to try and use him for the majority of this season, as Carolinetti is not really progressing or not really performing as well as he should. Mark Noble's in the decline, and Thiago Maia, while he is young and good being young, I want someone that he can learn from, that he can be mentored by, and Lucas Romero is definitely going to be that type of player. Look at that. He's got some great defensive stats, great speed, he's got good legs on him, great physically as well. There's nothing I can say wrong about this guy. He's not even that injury prone, touch wood, so hopefully he will be that stalwart just in front of the back line to help cut out attacks. And then in the monthly match recap, we pretty much plowed through the underperforming teams since our last live com. Derby, Stoke, and Leicester in the league, all very commanding 3-1 and 3-2 victories. As you can see, Yoel Paulo, Kyan Vandenbroek, and Lucas Teodorczyk getting in on the goal-scoring fun. Now, Kyan Vandenbroek, of course, another player that a lot of people have been sought after. But hey, if they want to pay the $46 million release clause on him, be my guest, go for it, gives me a shit ton of extra money. But he really has been living up to expectations, and honestly, with Mesut Ozil sitting behind him, he's really pushing him to be a better player. Not taking away from Mesut, he's doing fine and dandy as well, but Kyan is really the gem sitting that AMC role. Then in the FA Cup third round, we defeated Burton once again by the score of 3-1. Paulo and Victor Lindelof, the goal scorers there. We've drawn against Wolverhampton Wanderers in the fourth round, which should be a semi-easy match. They're sitting in the championship, so all bets are off, really. And then finally, in a very, very close match, and in Lucas Romero's debut, we came away with a 1-0 defeat to Arsenal. In the 84th minute, the Gunners got themselves the go-ahead goal by Nikola Vlasic. And to be quite honest with you, take a look at the stats, it should have been a draw all the way. Even amount of shots taken. We had more possession, but also we had a little bit more fouls. Ultimately, our fouling did lead to the free kick that gave Vlasic and Arsenal the go-ahead goal. So unfortunate for us. On another day, could have swung the other way. More than likely would have been a draw. Don't think it could have been a win, but could have been a draw. But other than that, not a poor performance against one of our London rivals. And even though we beat up on the underachievers, that last loss to Arsenal pushed us back down the table just a little bit, as we are now sitting in 7th place. 34 points through 19 matches at the halfway point of the season. Tottenham, who are playing today, are sitting same amount of points, but they have a match in hand, as well as better goal difference. So we need to come away with a result against them today to obviously go ahead of them. Chelsea sitting in the top, 10 points ahead of us, then Liverpool, Arsenal, Manchester United, and Watford. Watford sitting in 5th place. How about that? Shout out to Foxy. Your Watford squad is doing very well this year. But like I said, now we need to focus our attention on the league, as Spurs have given us a swift kick in the rear for pretty much every season that I've managed West Ham. And with Mesut Ozil still out due to his injury, this is how we're going to line up. Dragowski in net, Lindelof, Rocco, Lucas, and Luke Shaw along the back line. Tielemans and Lucas Romero sitting in that midfield. A perfect midfield pairing, if I do say so myself. Driussi, Vandenbroek, and Grealish sitting in that attacking mid-role. And then sitting up top for now, Łukasz Teodorczyk. Obviously, Giannis Delani sitting on the bench, looking to try and make his mark and break into the first team. Hey, it could be now, it could be a few games from now, but I want to try and vet him in, as well as get any of those strikers, any of those 2 strikers that I made bids on. But as for now, this is how the lineup's going to be. Cross fingers, hopefully we do well against our North London rivals in the biggest derby that we've had throughout these seasons. So let's kick off and see what happens. 9 minutes on, we are able to at least put it into Spurs' half, but unfortunately not able to keep the ball. And that is something Spurs have done very well throughout these 6 seasons, and that is play keep away with our team. Halilovic taking a shot, but it is saved by Dragowski. Throw in 34 minutes on Luke Shaw out there on the wing, but Lindelof gets it right back. Lucas Romero to Grealish, takes the shot. Luke Shaw off the rebound. Hugo Lloris parries it away, but Luke Shaw with the cat-like reflexes gets the goal that puts the Hammers in the lead. It's his first goal of the season too. Happy days. It was a bang-bang play, and we really haven't done much all game long. This was just a lucky bounce that fell our way, a parry from Lloris right to the feet of Luke Shaw, and it's 1-0 to West Ham. So it's halftime. Of course, we're still at the 1-0 lead, but it still does not alleviate the pressure that Spurs are putting on us. They are coming out harder and faster than ever. Really has woken them up, at least put them into double speed mode. So we really need to start closing ourselves up, at the very least, preventing anything over the top, which Spurs are really known to do. Especially crosses in from the wings, you know, from Sung-Hun Min and Christian Tello and Christian Eriksen, just trying to get into the box to find Harry Kane. So we need to start closing those front 4 down. 60 minutes on, Łukasz Teodorczyk not looking the best out there, so it's time to make the first team debut for Giannis Delani. Let's give the young kid a round of applause. Let's hope he does well in these final 30 minutes. Spurs now looking to try and hit a counter. The ball, oh my lord, what a hit from Sung-Hun Min, and then Halilovic on the rebound. Almost equalized for Spurs. Tielemans out to Vandenbroek, really should have passed it out to the wing. He was trying to do too much. Oh, fortunately, we get the ball right back here. Vandenbroek to Driussi, tries to slip it through. Callum Chambers playing in a really far up position. Nervy times now, 3 minutes left to go on the clock. Delani skins his man, takes a shot. Good save from Lloris. It's a long ball over the top, takes a shot. Dragowski with the save, very ambitious from 30 yards out, but going right to the goalkeeper. And we can wipe the sweat off our brow for this match. Good lord, very nervy, but the Hammers come away the victors on this derby day, 1-0. Whew, cannot believe it. Now, the tougher task. We gotta face Arsenal once again, but this time in the first leg of the Capital One Cup, so let's take a look and go into that one. Actually, we're not going to be playing Arsenal next. We're actually going to be playing Everton in the league because our match versus Arsenal got moved. So Man City coming in for one of my players once again, Ruy Pedro this time. I have a release clause for a reason. If you want him, pay 40 million, nothing less. And now he's pissed at me because he wants to leave. Well shit, if he wants to go, tell Man City to pay 40 million for him. Okay, the first of our 2 striker prospects has come in, and it turns out it's Ruy Pedro. Do I go ahead and sign him for 27 million when I have Lautaro Ronaldo, goal-scoring machine in Brazil, sitting and waiting in the wings as well? And also, like I said, Giannis Delani is a top prospect for the club. You know what? I'm going to do it. What could possibly go wrong, right? Ruy Pedro, welcome to the club. That's 27 million out of my books. Basically the same amount of money that we got back from Suter and Yolpo Impalo being used to bring in a striker for the future. And to be quite honest with you, I already have a couple strikers for the future in Giannis Delani and Shusha and some of the other players coming up through my academy, but Ruy Pedro is a cut above the rest. He is going to be a top quality player here. And so now with all of that done and dusted, we come to our match versus Everton at Goodison Park, and this is the starting lineup that we're going to have. Of course, Dragowski's going to be in net. He kept a clean sheet in the last match. Chambers, Rocco, Lucas, and Cresswell will be along the back line for today. Romero and Tielemans sitting in the middle. The return of Mesut Ozil from his injury, he's going to be sitting there alongside with Vandenbroek and Driussi in that attacking mid-role. And getting his fresh start, I bought him for a reason. Ruy Pedro is going to be sitting up front. The rest of the bench looks pretty solid. The only two that are not going to be there, Dimitri Payet, Giannis Delani, Mickey van der Hart's out with an injury, so I really don't put a goalkeeper on the bench anyway, so it doesn't matter. But this is the starting lineup. Hopefully we can take it to Everton. Cross fingers we do very well and get a result, but let's kick off and see what happens. Everton looking very well. John Guidetti fires it over the crossbar. 36 minutes gone now. Vandenbroek taking on his man, tries to get past a second, gets inside and Mesut. Some decent passing. Driussi to Ruy Pedro, not in a position to score. Substitute to Mesut though, takes a shot. Oh my lord, it just hit the outside of the post. I thought that would have been a goal for us. So it's halftime and it's nothing. No one's really taking control of the match, making good decisions. Everton have had more shots than us, but obviously, it's 0-0, so those shots mean nothing. Hopefully, we can come around in the second half, scrape a goal, and come away with the 3 points. So, I'm not going to make changes. Second 45, let's just go out there. 8 minutes left to go. Chambers with a throw into Grealish. Finds Lucas Romero. If he can turn around defender, if Grealish can get a cross in, there really is not a lot of attacking movement coming in and from our side, and it's cleared. Everton now could hit us on a counter. Berahino over the top. Look at all these men coming forward in the blue shirts. Ball over the top. Oh, it just hits the post. This match was damn disappointing in the end. Getting nothing against 14th place Everton. But a point is still better than nothing? I don't know. Could have done a lot better. The debut for Ruy Pedro, not as good as I thought it would be, even though he did come away with a 6.9 average rating. He did make some good movements up front, much like Giannis did in the last match, but unfortunately, we're unlucky on the day. We came away 7 shots, 3 on target. We have majority possession, but you know what? Like I said, a point is better than nothing. Pushes us up into 5th place, and let's take a look at the schedule and see when we'll be coming back. We have so many matches coming up in the next month plus. Of course, we have the Capital One Cup semifinal versus Arsenal. We have Liverpool, Aston Villa, and Chelsea in the league. Wolves, of course, in the FA Cup. And then Stuttgart in the Europa League. And I honestly think I'm going to put away my Europa League bias of not showing those matches as much as possible for next episode. We're going to come back and we're going to have a doubleheader of Stuttgart in the first knockout round, just to see how we do, of course, and to see if we progress into the round of 16. I know there are a ton of matches before that, like Chelsea too. Chelsea would be a good match, but I feel like right now, they're sitting in first place. They would more than likely blow us away. So I'd rather just take my chances and go with Stuttgart in the upcoming episode. So next time, first knockout round of the Europa League. I hope you enjoy it. So until that time, I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please go and hit that like button. Lets me know that you're still interested. And of course, subscribe if you're new. Any comments, suggestions, questions, anything at all, please leave in the comment box below. But as always, this is Gendo, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and peace out.